Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Leaveittobeav. It's June 7th, and these are the breaks.
These are the breaks. These are the breaks. You know what it is.
Morning, good afternoon. It's your boy Leaveittobeav. You already know what time it is. These are the breaks. June 7th. Let's go ahead and get started with our break it or leave it segment. Let's start first with Eric Spoelstra. Now, you're probably thinking the Heat Possums, they out here doing it again, and they are. Series is tied 1-1. The game is tonight in Miami. And before we get started with the game, there was a comment by Ramona Shelburne in regards to Nikola Jokic, right? And how to stop Nikola Jokic and things like that. Eric Spoelstra quickly jumped on it and shut it down. Now, let's just start here, right? The Joker's going to do what the Joker's going to do, right? It's not rocket science. It's not necessarily I don't know what's going on, right? Let Joker do what he's going to do. You have to stop the other players from going off, which the Heat actually did in that game, right? You had Jimmy Buckets on Murray, and that kind of slowed him down. Murray's still going to do what he do, but then you had other people that was out of the game all completely, right? Porter Jr. was out of the game. KCP was out of the game. Aaron Gordon was also out of the game. So if they can continuously do that, then yeah, right? I don't mind Joker getting what he gets because he's going to get what he gets, right? He's one of the best players in the NBA, so he's going to get what he get. But what the Heat did well, right, you threw different bodies on, right? You threw Zeller, you threw Kevin Love, right? He's a bona fide player. He knows what's going on in the playoffs and stuff like that, and they won. I still necessarily have Denver winning the series, but, you know, when you have a team that doesn't have a mindset of no one's bigger than the team, you're going to be in a dogfight all night long.
Boom!
And that's just going to be what's going to happen to Denver, but Denver's going to pull it out and go ahead and hold it out. The next thing we're going to go ahead and talk about is going to be, we're going to switch gears. It's going to be to hockey, and it's going to be the Las Vegas Knights. It's actually 2-0 right now in that NHL series, and I got to say this, the night is looking very, very nice, right? They're giving the Panthers a run for their money. And again, both Florida teams is in it, but this Florida team has been down 2-0 before, in a previous series, and like I said, there's something in that Florida water. Now, we know politically there's some shit in the water, but basketball-wise and hockey-wise, it's something in the water when it comes to teams being down. Those teams has a real good dogfight in them, and I honestly feel that even though Las Vegas is up 2-0, right, they're still going to go ahead and make it a series at the end of the day. And before we leave our break it or leave it segment, I got one thing to talk about, Dame Dollar. Now, if you've been keeping up with the NBA a little bit, I know you've been keeping up with the finals and stuff like that, Dame Dollar has recently sold his mansion in Portland. And on top of that, they asked Dame Dollar how he feels about Portland. He said necessarily, and I quote, that they have some pieces there, right? But, and I'm paraphrasing, if it doesn't work out, that's going to be a different conversation. Dame Dollar, let's stop the hyperboles here, right? If you want to go, then go.
Bye-bye.
Right? If you want to stay, then stay. But we know, the fans know, it's been too long. So if you do decide to pack it up and leave, pick somewhere nice, right? Pick somewhere with good weather at least, i.e. I'm kind of hinting where you should come on and go. But if you want to go ahead out there with the New York Knicks and the Timberlands, go ahead. But Dame, the writing's on the wall. I don't think Portland's going to have enough to persuade you to stay. So that's why you're kind of moving the way you're moving in regards to it. He might go east, right? He might take the Knicks to the promised land. We don't know. But Dame Dollar, figure it out. But Portland, just be ready for that exit that's going to take place. Let's go ahead and switch gears to our NBA fast break. and a lot has been going on in NBA. There has been a coach roller coaster. Now, we all know that the Suns now have necessarily hired Frank Vogel as their coach, but one of the assistant coaches that we probably haven't heard from in a long time has been hired in the Utah organization, and that's facts. That's stats and facts, Jack. David Fizdale is going to be an assistant coach with Frank Vogel and the Suns. Another person that's going to go ahead and jump on a plane and head his way on down to Detroit is going to be Stephen Salas. In regards to being on Monty Williams' coaching staff. Now, I feel like Stephen didn't get a fair shake in Houston at all with that young crowd, but he's going to be an assistant. And he's going to be able to right his wrongs and be able to talk to these young cats in Detroit and necessarily turn that one around. And a shocker, right? Of course, I knew this was going to happen, but because, Doc Rivers pulled his name from the Suns' job, Sam Cassell was on the market, and Sam Cassell is actually going to be an assistant coach in Boston. Now, Boston, this is going to be great for you. You want to know why? Because Jaylen Brown is actually now going to get a lefty. He's going to get a left hand, for God's sake. His handles might get better because Sam Cassell is going to have that man in the gym doing all types of drills. Jason Tatum is actually going to get better. Marcus Smart is going to get better. I think it's a brilliant move by the coaching staff to get Sam Cassell on the roster. But again, I can care less for Boston because I'm going to tell you this, Sam Cassell, do not funnel with anybody in that front office because if you do, you will be out the door. All right. Also, too, the Bucks necessarily have a new coach, Adrian Griffin. He was the coach with the Toronto Raptors. He is now going to be the head coach for the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, if we're looking at this, it's kind of I'm still kind of filling it out a little bit, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep my comments to myself. Now, I want to make it loud and clear. If everyone that's listening, I want you to mark your calendars, right? June 30th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the NBA free agency. Woj bombs, Shams going crazy. Let me know who signs where. Now, on a few rumor mills, we're going to talk about this. Now, I have slandered this man from here to necessarily Africa and back here again. Dylan Brooks might be heading to the Houston Rockets. Now, there's only one man that can help cure his illness, and that's going to be Ime Udoka, all right? And I have high faith in him curing everything that's wrong with Dylan Brooks. First of all, snatch the chain off his neck and tell him don't ever wear a perm again. It's nasty. It stinks. All right? But if Houston could get their things in order, we might be seeing James Harden. There is word on the street that James Harden is torn between staying with Philly and Houston. James, I'm just going to be honest with you and candid with you, right? The strippers, the lamb chops, the crab legs, and all the fun activity is going to be in Houston. And I'm going to let you know right now, James Harden, they miss you in Houston. They might give you a national holiday if you return because you might be, sending some ladies through college with how much tuition money you're going to be throwing. So, James Harden, go ahead and go back home to Houston, right? The state doesn't have state taxes, so you can go ahead and keep your money a little bit longer, which I highly doubt that you will do. But I have faith in this free agency, right? It's a lot of things going on, right? They're talking about Russell, not Russell Westbrook, but D'Lo Russell might be in a signing trade as well. So Laker Nation, I know you're looking for answers and it might be on the way. Austin Reeves, the Lakers have said that they will go ahead and match up to $100 million with if it's a contract being thrown out there. I'm going to tell you right now, don't you lose another white boy. Don't you do it. You already lost Alex Caruso. Right? Don't you lose another one. They talking about Alex Caruso might head to Phoenix with Frank Vogel, and I'm going to tell you right now, that would be a beautiful pickup. Cameron Payne can finally go back to Shanghai, China, and go back and play over there. All right? But it's a lot of things we got to keep our eyes out for. Russell Westbrook, he might be returning to the Clippers. And it's going to be a lot of moving parts that's going to take place on June 30th. Now, I might sound like woes, but I'm not. I'm just Beav. So when we come back, we're going to go ahead and jump into our NFL breakdown. But we got to go ahead and pay these bills. So I'll see y'all in a few.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
Welcome back. Again, it's your boy, Leaveittobeav, and these are the breaks. Before we left, we're going to go ahead and jump into our NFL breakdown. And in regards to the NFL, there has been a lot of things going on. First things first, we don't know if we should call them the Washington Commanders or necessarily the Washington football team, but there is noise that they're going to listen to trades for Chase Young. Now, I will tell you this. Washington doesn't have shit. They're not going to be shit. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. It's just necessarily the framework of the Washington football team. Now, I'm going to tell you straight up how we give them a call, right? Chase Young, just candid, hasn't been used correctly in that Washington defense. I damn near almost said offense because they need help on offense too. But when it comes to defense, Chase Young has not been used correctly. He has been hurt, of course, but overall, I just feel like that defensive scheme hasn't been good at all to utilize him correctly. Now, if he comes to Philly, he might be on top of the world. I'm just going to tell you that. Dallas Cowgirls, y'all probably can use him. The New York Little Giants can definitely use some help on the defensive line. Shit, everybody in the league can use him. But we're going to see what it takes and see what their price range is for him because, you know, he was a top pick when he was drafted. Darman Hamlin is back. OTAs, he was out there with the Buffalo Bills in with his helmet on and jersey and everything on. It's good to see him back. If everyone remembers what happened on that field, I'm not going to go into detail, but he has overcome a lot. And to see him back on the NFL field is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So shout out to Hamlin. There was noise from and the people go crazy. I love it, right? I love when they go crazy. Hamlin, there was some noise that he should be on the NFL Madden cover, and I say stop it right there. All right, I don't want to see him on the NFL cover, just on the Madden cover just yet. I know he has overcame a lot, but it's more people we could put on there, right? Because you know what happens when you get on that Madden cover, right? It's the Madden curse. So I would perfectly like Patrick Mahomes on there one more time because I think the curse didn't kick in just enough yet. So put him back on there one more time, and we'll see how the Chiefs do the following year.
Boom.
Now, the other team I want to go ahead and talk about that they must heard me yell at them from a mile away in regards to they must be tuning in, and I love it. It's going to be the 49ers, right? The 49ers necessarily has Trey Lance as their number one QB right now. Now they're saying we don't know who's going to start, but it literally goes as such. It's Trey Lance's jobs to lose because Sam Darnold is going to be the number 2, and of course Purdy is going to be there as well. Now everyone jumps on the Purdy train, but I'm just going to let you know all Purdy did when he stepped in was manage the game. He did a good job at managing the game. But who a quarterback is going to take you to the next level is definitely going to be Trey Lance because Trey Lance is that special talent. Plus, they wouldn't have wasted a draft pick to go get him because it would be the dumbest trade probably going on as such. But we're going to keep it locked right there with the NFL breakdown in regards to what's going on. But I have very, very good faith in the 49ers making the right decision. The next thing we're going to go ahead and jump into is our rule breakers. Simply people that keep breaking the rules. I'm going to start here first. Is blowing a baseball foul? It's really not foul play. In Major League Baseball, there is not a rule for blowing the baseball and trying to make it go foul. Now, you're probably thinking, Beav, why did you bring this up? There was a game recently in Toronto with the pitcher Alex Noah, right? Excuse me if I chopped up his name. I had to look up to pronounce it a little bit. The Blue Jays lost 11-4, but there was a play in which the batter swung, the ball didn't go far, barely went to the pitcher mound, and it was rolling to the third base line. What Alex did was he tried to blow it so it can go foul. Now, you're probably thinking this is the most craziest shit I ever seen. But it is fair game. There's no rule for it. So, little kids, i.e. high schoolers, if you see a ball and you start blowing it, you should be okay. All right. The good just keep getting good with Ja. I just feel like Ja can never let me down. Ja is back in the news, right? We already talked about Ja before. Now, Ja is going to be suspended. Adam Silver said he's going to suspend him after the finals because he doesn't want to put focus on Ja. But Adam Silver, that was the dumbest shit ever because when you made the announcement, you basically took the NBA Finals away from Denver and the Heat Possums and put it on Ja. Now, Ja lawyers is coming out and saying that the gun in the video was a toy gun. Ja, just get this on me quickly. Ja, I don't know who your lawyer is, but he is the dummy of the year. He says a toy gun, that's even worse. Now, Ja, that makes you look idiotic. Stupid. Ja, you're already on the dummy train, right? It's coming down the track. You and Eric Lewis is already on there. And for you to say it's a toy gun, Ja, every news break that comes out, your stock is going down. It's terrible. It's pure terrible, right? So, Ja, if it was a toy gun, you just have no common sense. And I call it young and dumb. I can't even call it dumb no more. You just living. That's all I'm going to call it. You are out here just living, and I honestly don't know what the hell is going on when it comes to Ja Morant. I just don't know. All right. Now, there has been some riffraff going on in the news. Let's go ahead and visit our Heartbreak Hotel because there is a lot of broken hearts in this hotel room. And it's going to start with the PGA Tour. There are a lot of golfers that are feeling some type of way due to the merger of the PGA Tour and LIV Golf. Now, if you don't know what's necessarily going on, there has been a split, right? There has been a new league called LIV Golf, which is ran by the Sudan government and necessarily that big money group and things like that. The PGA Tour took a stance, right? This literally sound like characters from South Park yelling that they took our jobs, right? And they took a stance by slandering, and not my type of slander, they literally slandered LIV Golf and saying how they funded 9/11 and necessarily that their money is not good money and things like that. But there was golfers like Phil Mickelson that went over to LIV Golf because it was more money. PGA Tour necessarily was telling players, hey, stay with us, right? Stay with us. Don't take the money and just stay with us, right? Now, you're probably thinking, okay, it doesn't sound like a bad deal, but it is a bad deal. Rules, necessarily, what has broken out in the PGA Tour is that now the PGA Tour and LIV Tour is going to merge together. Now, this has taken place in less than 2 years, right? Now, you're probably thinking, B, why does it matter? From a player standpoint, right, everyone that stayed in the PGA Tour has missed a big paycheck, right? LIV Tour even offered Tiger Woods and other players $70 million to go play in their tournament. Now, who has the last laugh is going to be Phil Mickelson, because Phil Mickelson literally went over to LIV Tour. Now he can come back to the PGA Tour and get his money. I know, right? It sounds crazy. Now, to add more salt in the wound, the news broke out recently that this merger was taking place. Most players didn't find out that this was taking place at all. They were left on the back burner. They didn't find out that this was taking place until Twitter said something. Now, this is coming from Jay, who owns the PGA Tour, that it's necessarily a great thing and it's a valuable thing. Now, there's even a clip of him slandering the LIV Tour, right? And a lot of people's thinking, like, what does it matter, right? I'm just going to explain to you the ramifications of what's going to happen. It's just like the ABA and the NBA, right? You have the NBA that was new and fresh, making money. You had the ABA who was struggling and losing money. What they do, they came together and made one big entity, which was the NBA, which we see it now. Teams like the Spurs and things like that, now you see in the NBA, right? You see them right here on me. That's why I'm kind of wearing this, to give you an idea of what's going on. You have seen it before with the NFL and the AFL, right? You thought the AFC was always the AFC. Hell no, it was actually the AFL prior, before it merged together, and now we have the NFL, AFC, and NFC. It's the same thing that's taking place here with the PGA Tour and the LIV Golf entity. Now, the only thing that sucks about this is the players, because you had players stick to you, and you came out with this narrative of basically saying, you know what, fuck, I'm just going to say it, fuck LIV Tour to the highest degree, right? And these players missed out on so much money, because you, Jay, wanted to kind of downplay LIV, right? Now you're merging together, and I'm just going to be candid with you, right? It has to basically be that both the PGA Tour and LIV Golf Tour is tired of being in a courtroom. That's all this boils down to, because so much money was going on. It's going to say it right here. I actually have a few keynotes from the merger here. It's necessarily saying that this is going to end all pending litigation between both participant parties. So it was so much going on. And I'm just going to be honest. You know what the PGA Tour did? They did a 180 and basically walked up to Sedan and said, how much money can you give me so I can just shut the fuck up? And guess what the PGA Tour did? Shut the fuck up and took the money, right? So, hey, enjoy the new merger. Golfers, go ahead and get your money, get your green jackets, and have a good time. Again, this is your boy Leaveittobeav. These are the breaks. Let's go ahead and pay some bills, and we'll be right back.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
Welcome back. It's your boy Leaveittobeav, and these are the breaks. Now, before we went to break, I was definitely touching on the PGA Tour, and there's a few things I want to add in regards to it. Now, you're probably thinking, how is this going to boil down, right? This basically boils down that LIV players can now necessarily, when PGA is having a slow month and things like that, they can have a LIV tournament, and it could be the PGA best versus the LIV best, and a big money pile can necessarily take place with that. Another thing that can take place is after 2023, golfers can choose if they want to be part of the DP World Tour or the PGA Tour as well. And they're also going to be coming up with a new name for the whole entire entity that's going on between LIV Golf and PGA Tour. Now, I'm just going to be honest and straight up, right? The owner, Jay, of the PGA Tour, I'm just going to give a big fuck you because you literally sold everything, right? Your accreditation, right? Your character, everything else, because you played like Two-Face on Batman, right? You had a smile on one face telling everybody, hey, I'm a good guy. But on the other side, you was really trying to fill your pockets as much as you can. And when it comes to Saudi, they're not going to, they got enough funds over there to fill anything they would like. So, hey, we'll see how this merger goes within 10 years. Just buckle your seatbelts. But golf might be getting a little bit more interesting with those additional golfers coming over into the circuit. All right. Quickly, before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to the Sparks. The women lost last night to Seattle, but they were in a dogfight. Now, I will say this about the Sparks: we gotta do better, right? We had a huge lead in the first quarter, and it dwindled away until now we're in a dogfight. And I will say this: Lexi Brown and NECA, y'all are doing your things. Ladies, we need the supporting cast to step in and assist. This loss kind of hurts because y'all came out the gate. It was like 30-14. I was like, hey, I could turn this game off. But ladies, we got to do better. All right. I love y'all. Y'all got to do better. I have nothing but faith in you ladies this season. Let's go ahead and switch gears in regards to my breakout. And my breakout is going to go back to a previous conversation we had in regards to gambling, right? There has been an NFL investigation on the Indianapolis Colts for a gambling act that took place. Now, you're probably thinking, who did it? The culprit is going to be defensive back Isaiah Rodgers. Isaiah Rodgers, just a little history about him, was a 6th-round draft pick in the NFL. He made bets, right? The NFL said, hey, you necessarily cannot make bets on the facility, right? And you necessarily can't make bets just on games that you played in. Let me take these off real quick. Isaiah, hello. You have to be the biggest, stupidest person I have ever seen. You are the dummy of the decade. I feel like you have beat John Moran on the dummy train. Isaiah, not only did he make bets, he made bets in the Colts facility and in games he played in. I can't make this shit up. Like, what in the hell are you making bets for on games? Now, I did a little research on Isaiah Rodgers, right? The Mr. Dummy. He has a 4-year contract for $4 million. Isaiah, there's no goddamn bet in the world that is going to make you more money that you're getting in the NFL. You are a 6th rounder in the NFL. I might as well say this shit is gone, caboose, finito, gone. It's out of here.
Bye-bye.
Who's going to look at a 6th rounder and say, hey, I want him again? You made $4 million. You're supposed to make $4 million in 4 years. If you had a good team around you, you could invest 1 year's check and have a business to double it, right? I don't have to take you to business class, but shit, you could have took $500,000 and open up a food chain, a food truck, something, a shoe store, something, right? But all you did was you took the money and wanted to bet it on fucking Prize Picks, something that broke folks do that take $5 to try to get $200 in a fucking probably parlay that was shitting itself. And not only that, you put your other teammates in jeopardy with your stupid ass bets. You know some players get bonuses when they do certain things, but you out here running around lollygagging because you want to make a bet. This shit don't make sense. And then you came out here with this sorry apology. No one gives a rat's ass about your apology. Your apology means just as much as John Morant's apology, and he came out here again with another gun, and this time he's saying it's a toy gun. This shit means nothing. It's watered down. It means not a goddamn thing. This gambling shit, I told you, don't come around me if you gambling. It's finna get real ugly out here. You're gonna hear about coaches in a minute talking about he gave the bet to his friend. What the fuck? The coach stink and now they stinkier. It's utterly ridiculous. Just dumb. Get them out of here. Hey, y'all, it's your boy, Leaveittobeav, and this has been another episode of The Breaks. Hey, you can catch me on Twitter at Leaveittobeav31. You can also catch me on Instagram at Leaveittobeav31. If you miss me on there, you can catch me on Sundays on We Don't Make the Rules podcast at 5:30 p.m. But don't be like Isaiah Thomas and bet your last check on gambling, because you might lose everything. Boom. See y'all later, man.